people with specific motivations, that they read into it that the intent, what's the intent of these people, which I thought was pretty amazing. Look, we've got courts that are now measuring intent of the people and what they're doing in the school board. Oh, yes, it was intent.
That informed the decision. But the decision was specifically that the construct of intelligent design was a religious construct and therefore would be a violation of the First Amendment separation of church and state, establishment clause, establishment of a religion, to teach it in a public school classroom.
Yeah. Do you think atheism's a religion?
Wait a minute. No. That's the decision.
Really?
Nothing. That's the decision. The decision is you cannot teach intelligent design in a public school science classroom. Yeah. You can teach it in a social studies classroom.
And what specific religion did it endorse?
It endorsed a particular view of Christianity.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what Judge Jones rules.
That's correct. That's Judge Jones's ruling.
And so when you look at the people who, if you talk to the Discovery Institute, that would be the place to go on this, because they're the ones who are, that's the hub of intelligent design. And you look at the Discovery Institute.
But that's not the hub of intelligent design science, because there is no hub of intelligent design science. That's the hub of intelligent design
advocacy,
publicity, and advocacy.
Okay.
When it came down to actually,
you've made your point. I get your view.
Okay.
You've got your position. I understand it. Okay. I know exactly where you're coming from.
Now, have you? Just curious. This is tangential. Have you determined that Judge Jones is a wolf in sheep's clothing because of the decision?
What I read in the decision, and what I read of the decision, okay, and what I saw of it, and certainly, nowhere near your level of expertise on this, because I didn't cover it like you did. But when we have judges who are lifting, who are being praised for their great eloquence in their decision, and that 92%.
Who's praising him?
He was heavily praised by the press. The press, the scientific community, heavily praised for this wonderful, eloquent decision. Oh yeah.
Oh no, Steve has praised him.
I've praised him.
And you're
praising
him. You're praising the ACLU.
It is
because 92% of it was 92% of what he wrote up came directly from the ACLU without edit.
Well, we're going to check that out.
Please do.
Because so far you don't know that. You're a secondary source on that.
I am a secondary source.
You're saying that, who was it again, West?
John West.
John West of the Discovery Institute.
Of the Discovery Institute.
Makes that claim in a book. In
a book called Darwin Day in America. Okay? So, look, I mean, there are only so many hours in the day where you can read books, and I've read a great number of them on this subject. And so, with any research, there's a certain level of trust here, where you count on that, especially when you read in books that have 150 pages of footnotes, that, believe me, if somebody from the Discovery Institute says something like that in a book and it's not right, oh my gosh, they will be shredded.
Well, that's only if anybody actually reads the book.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm very familiar with where you're coming from.
Okay.
So you don't need to. You can stop beating that horse.
I'm not attacking you on that. I had never heard that claim before. So I just want to know where it comes from, so that I can independently verify it.
I'll be very interested if, when you do independently verify it, if in fact that's the case, why it is you didn't know that.
Okay. If it turns out that it's true, then we'll get into why it is we didn't know it.
Because that seems to me to be a pretty important point.
Why exactly?
Oh, come on. I think when you have a judge who's supposed to be laying down an impartial ruling that's of his own weighing of the evidence, and yet 92-point-something% of his decision.
So your argument is that the fact that
I'm saying if I was a judge, I would make it my decision. I would write the doggone decision. That's what I'm saying.
What we'll also do, okay, look, we're talking about something that needs to be established. So we're going to do two things. We're going to find out if that number is actually accurate, the 92%, And then we're going to find out, we're going to ask other judges how much actual text in any given decision is lifted verbatim from the trial transcripts, because that may be what's going on as well.
Trial transcripts and other documents that may be submitted into evidence in the course of a trial.
Exactly. I mean, as I recall the judge's decision,
might be standard practice in long
it's
judicial
possible.
decisions.
Now, I've read the judge's decision.
Check it out.
At least twice. I've read it twice all the way through and pieces of it again. And it is heavily laden with quotes from trial transcripts. So, you know, the numbers may come out a certain way based on that method of attribution rather than it was written by somebody else.
Okay, so now
anyway,
it is 6:40, and I would rather not spend time. We could debate minor points and side issues for quite some time here. If we've got something big, I'm happy to answer that and go in that direction. But if not, it's been a very long day for me. I'd like to go.
Well, we're not keeping you prisoner.
I can certainly understand that. Does anybody else see a reason to continue to ask Mark questions? If not, okay. We appreciate you bringing it in. I would say that we wish you well with the film, but who are we kidding? But again, I do appreciate the courage or whatever else it took that you decided to actually come in and personally screen this in our office. I do appreciate that.
I am, look, there are people out there who make accusations about the people who put this film together and the courage that they won't, look, I'll come right to the Scientific American, show you the film, and let you come after me, and I'll give you the best answers I've got. I'm not hiding anywhere, okay? So I appreciate your passion. I have a point of view that you disagree with, and that point of view is that when you look at something like evolutionary biology, and when you have very significant hurdles that are real head scratchers, where does information come from? Okay? How did the cosmos and the Earth and its atmosphere, how did all of these things become so finely tuned that life is possible? How, through a process of mutation, which, from what I understand, genetic mutations, the evidence demonstrates these mutations destroy information. They don't build information. So yet Darwin's theory posits that we're going to build all information from this. But yet we've got a mechanism that destroys information. We've got speciation problems. We've got symbiosis problems. And I'm not a scientist, but I'm looking at this as a logical, analytical person. And my point is this. When there are this many significant challenges to a theory, okay, I don't say that, and look, obviously I'm reaching beyond very specific Darwinism, but I must say, I think it's intellectually dishonest to have a theory about life and you don't talk about how you get to a cell. Okay, I just have a problem with that personally. But I think that to systematically exclude an idea that says, let's work on the science. Let's figure out, can we scientifically identify design? And I don't agree with you. I haven't had the years to study the attacks, well, not years because these have been fairly recent, on Michael Behe's analogy. I can tell you the one that I saw from Ken Miller is pretty lame. Here's a mousetrap. It's going to be a tie clip. Oh, come on. Let's talk real science here, okay? I don't think that the attacks on Behe's argument have been all that compelling. You obviously disagree. What I'm saying is this. Come on. What's the big problem? Why can't we simply say, look, allow research to go in on this program. Let these people fall on their face if you're so convinced that's going to happen. Come on.
This is I am half glad